we need to get 90 points. 90 points gets you automatic promotion. We can't afford to lose more than 5 or 6 games. And if you think about it, for Blues to lose 5 or 6 games in the season, we usually win 5 or 6 games in the season. So.
What's going on, guys? It's me again, the boy in blue, back with Steve Trainer, who runs Bcfc, the project Facebook group. How you doing, Steve?
All right, Jamie. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm all right, thank you, mate. Looking very well as always. Very tanned. You're looking very well as always. Very tanned.
Well, do you know what? It's so hot here. It's torture. Oh, honestly, you can see like me out. Well, you can't really see what my house has got. It's all shuttered. Just got the front door open. Reggie's under the table with a fan on him. But he suffers a lot in this weather. But anyway, so it is. Mustn't complain.
I can imagine, mate. Loads to talk about, Steve, that I want to ask you. I love talking to you, mate, and I love your views and opinions and stuff. We've had a couple more signings since we last spoke. And then there's been a few more games played as well. So start off with the Rangers game and the Shrewsbury game, and what your thoughts was on that, Steve. Watching those.
Oh, the Shrewsbury game first. I'm just trying to remember. I think Shrewsbury gave a pretty good account of themselves, and they did try and play some football, which actually suited Blues because that allowed us to play, and sort of play through them. And I think it was a really good run out for us. Great following as normal. And it was the first time really, I think, we've seen Chris Davis's stamp on the game, the players looked as if they were understanding it. Close passing, little triangles, 1 and 2 touches, moving into space, defending with 4, attacking, defending with 4 at the back, attacking with 3 at the back. It was a start, really, of that thing that I think is going to be our identity. And obviously, as the games have gone on, we can see that that's exactly what it is. Against Rangers, I think the first 5 minutes, I thought, bloody hell, we're going to suffer it because Rangers put us under a little bit of pressure.
Yeah.
But I think as soon as we got control of the ball and started the press, I think Rangers looked shell-shocked, to be perfectly honest with you. I don't think they could handle us. And for the first hour, especially until we made the substitutions, which we have to do because the players aren't fully fit yet. And sort of Rangers sort of played into our hands a little bit. They defended really high, and we kept the high line in the back in the defence as well, which I really loved because what would happen in the last couple of seasons is we'd go a goal up. This is with John Eustace. This is, so it's not any particular manager. It's just been the style of play that we've done. We'll go a goal up, and the automatic thing for Blues to do is defend deep. It just happens. The back 4 go deeper and deeper and deeper. But we went a goal up, and the press was just as high as ever. I think at one point, I noticed that our 3 centre-backs were in the Rangers' half while we were attacking. And Peacock Farrell was just outside the centre circle, acting as a sweeper. It was absolutely brilliant, and Rangers just didn't know how to cope with us. That's the truth,
Yeah.
I know it wasn't a full strength Rangers side, but it was a good enough team to give us a game, and I think we handled them really well. Some of the cross field passes, particularly from Sanderson. Bielik's intelligence in the back 3 when we were attacking. Laird was just dynamite down the right hand side. We've seen Hansen for the first time really put to the test against some quality defenders. Alfie May, what we're doing with Alfie May is he plays obviously as a striker, and he scored 3 goals in 5 games.
Brilliant, isn't he?
Yeah, I think the thing with Williamson and Alfie May, Williamson's 6'3". He's a number 10. He's really big for a number 10. Usually players that big don't have that skill set, but he's very, very adaptable. And I think the idea with Williamson is to give Alfie May that free role. So Alfie May can basically run right and left. He can drop deep to help out and sort of overload the midfield if we need him to. And when he does that, Williamson just presses forward like a number 9.
Yeah,
he scored 15 goals last season. You know, this guy knows how to put the ball in the net. He's no fool. And I think that's the idea with it. He looks. I think people don't understand his game properly when you look at him. I've heard a few people say, "Oh, you know, he hasn't really shown a lot so far," but he really has. He was a little bit quieter in the last game against Warsaw, but Williamson has got a really deft touch. He's a big lad, and if he does nothing else, he takes players with him. You can't leave a 6'3" player in the box unmarked. You know, he has to have attention. And some of his passing play as well is absolutely delightful, but he's still settling in. Remember, he's only been with us for 14 days, so these players have still got to sort of understand the whole system as it works,
and each other as well, haven't they?
Yeah, they have. A lot of them know each other. A lot of them don't know each other. I'm pleased with the way Sanderson and Bielik are working in the middle. And I'm wondering if Clara will join that duo and have sort of 3 there and have and then play with a wing back. But it's not the way Chris Davies plays. Chris Davies plays with 4 across the back. As soon as we get possession, he pushes one of those 4 up. Usually it will be, at the moment, it's been Laird. And you see, you know, it overloads the midfield. It's just really clever way of playing. And the intensity is the thing that gets me. They just do not stop. And I think that's that's the thing that really put the spoke in the wheel for Rangers. As soon as the foot was on the ball, there's 3 blue shirts around them, you know.
Yeah, it's brilliant, isn't it? And what I like about it as well, Steve, is the urgency for me, because that was a massive thing for me last season. There wasn't, sometimes we lacked that urgency, didn't we? Like when we lost the ball, a couple of plays, just for example, Dembele, usually named for not tracking back. It's nice to see the team this pre-season trying to get the ball back.
I think the press is important, and getting the ball back, winning the ball back when we've lost possession, really has been the job of James and Pake.
Yeah.
And Williamson has played his part in that role as well. But the Dembele thing, you know, I heard the commentators in the first half of the game on Saturday, away at Warsaw, you know, like complaining about Dembele. You know, Dembele should have run back there. But what they don't understand is this. I don't think they understand the system fully. I mean, Dembele, I think, had a good game on Saturday. A lot of people think he didn't. I think he did. He ran a lot of miles. And the thing with Dembele that you have to, because what Blues want to do all the time is overload that midfield. And as soon as that ball goes to Dembele, he draws 2 players to him. You've seen him beat 3 players on Saturday. All right, the final ball, it wasn't great. He may have lost position. He had possession. He had a couple of shots. He hit the post with one he probably should have scored. But the fact that he was in the game so much is important. And I don't think, like commentators, particularly in the first half, I mean, Tommy Mooney, I think he's good. He understands it. But I think that, you know, to be slating Dembele, he's a dead easy target, Dembele is. And I'll tell you something, mate, he's a really gifted footballer. If Chris Davies can get a tune out of him, we've got a very, very good player on our hands. Imagine being tortured by Hansen for an hour, and then the fullback doesn't know, or the you know, the opposition back 4 or 5 don't know what the hell to do with him, and then Hansen goes off, and then Dembele comes on. It'd be like, what the shit, you know? Seriously, but
I would, yeah.
I think this is the other thing with people not understanding when it's like say, for instance, people are talking about getting Jay Stansfield. Well, if they were to get Jay Stansfield and then buy another centre forward, it's not like, well, if you buy Stansfield, you can't buy that other centre forward. Because you can, because the way Chris Davies plays is after half an hour, we're going to see some changes. You can't play 100% flat out football like that and always make it to 90 minutes. Yeah. And Chris Davies likes that 60-minute thing. And I think if you, like I just said, you take off Hansen, you bring on Dembele. You know, I mean, if you're a fullback, you're going to think, what the fuck has happened there? Like, you know, he's just took a really quality player off and he's bringing another really quality player on. And it would be the same anywhere on the park. At the moment, we've got two of the best left fullbacks in the Championship, let alone League One. You know, Buchanan's being kept out at the moment, and he's an absolutely brilliant left back.
It's nice to have the options as well, Steve. You know, I mean, the players we signed and that, you know, like you say about taking Hansen off, and then you got the likes of Dembele coming on. You know, the players that we're signing, and
well, you know, like if you're
the
fullback
and
you see Hansen, and you've been tortured by Hansen, and you see his number to get substituted, and you see Dembele standing on the line, you think, oh Jesus, you know, and that's the idea of it. Alfie May's, Alfie May will play a big part in that team. He will score a lot of goals, but he's not an out-and-out centre forward. That sounds a bit crazy because the amount of goals he scores, but Alfie May likes to have the freedom of the box, and that's his strength. It was like when he scored on Saturday, the ball from Sanderson to Marshi, we dragged them from right to left. You know, our right, their left. The ball from long ball from Sanderson to Marshi. Marshi turns, pays it to JJ. JJ breaks right, hits a ball which actually just slightly deflects off the centre back's thigh and onto Alfie May's right thigh, and I think his right thigh, and he just thighs it home. But it doesn't matter. That's the sort of striker he's going to score those goals. He doesn't care if it comes off his arse, you know. That ball goes in the net. But then if he drops back to help out the midfield, and the ball's hit through to where May normally would be, that's when you'll see Williamson filling in where May should be. And that's how the whole team works. That's why it got me mad on Saturday when it was said that Dembele, because he'd done a long run and then the ball went past him and the left fullback went wide. But the way the team plays is that when they see Dembele in that position, they should move across to the right to cover him so that he doesn't have to do that. You've got to get away. It isn't a game of wing backs. It isn't. And that's, I think Tom Ross said it, you know, that he just didn't understand it. We're not playing with three at the back and two wing backs. We're playing with a flat back four, and then we have one inverted fullback. You don't need to have the cover like that. That's the whole thing about it, is to overload the midfield every chance you get. And the opportunity for Alfie May, when he can, to drop back into midfield, put another player in midfield. The opposition won't know what's hit them, you know, because they're short passing, and all they're trying to do, Blues, is to find a way through.
Break them down.
On Saturday, it was a little bit, I think people were getting a bit frustrated because the ball was going across the back four, back across the back four, forward a bit, back a bit. But Chris Davies in his interview afterwards said it's about volume. And what volume means is having the ball for a long time, toying with the defence, and at some point, we're going to find that through ball. Or at some point, someone's going to hit a long crossfield ball, drag them wide, and we're going to get in. It's just a game of patience. And it will be when teams play with a low block of five at the back and basically five in the midfield. Five at the back or five in the midfield if the two up front drop back, which I will when they're defending, you know. It's going to be a very, very difficult season in respect to that. We've got to rely on each other.
But also as well, Steve, it's good to get the minutes as well, isn't it? You know, the fitness levels up, and that's why.
Yeah.
Thought it was a genius manoeuvre, really, playing the two games at once, because it was giving the younger lads a chance as well. And even though we lost, and it is only a pre-season friendly,
doesn't matter.
That's what I mean. It was good for him to get the minutes, and he was Ben Petty was saying, wasn't he? You know, like it was good to see the players get the minutes.
I think it was good for Ben Petty to take a team away on his own as well.
You
know, Ben's new to the setup, and it was like Chris Davies said, with the kids train at West Hills, they don't train with the main group, so it was good for the kids to get involved with the first team professionals, and that gave them a little taste of what they could get, you know.
Yeah. There is some rumours as well, Steve. I'd love to hear your thoughts on it about a possibility of Jordan James and Dembele going. Do you think that'd happen, or do you think it's just complete crap?
I don't know about
media and stuff.
I don't think Jordan James would be so much involved if he was just about to be on his way out. because this game time at the moment, so these minutes are really important.
Yeah.
And if James was going, it's like Bacuna, you haven't seen him. Because why play Bacuna when he's leaving? We could give someone else those minutes. And I don't think Dembele's going, because I think Chris Davis likes him.
Yeah.
I think Chris Davis sees what he's got with Dembele. And remember, Dembele a few seasons ago was in the Premier League with Bournemouth.
Yeah. Well, it's good to get your views on it, Steve. You reassure me.
There are only more views, you know.
Bacuna.
Okay.
In his Villa shorts, he was seen in some Villa shorts, and there was a bit of an uproar about it. What do you think about that, Steve? Have you seen it or?
Yeah, but I mean, why would you be upset about Bacuna wearing Villa shorts? I mean, you know, he had a good reason. Apparently, they were his brothers, whatever. He's not going to play for us.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like it's the end of the world if Bacuna wears a pair of Villa shorts. He had an England top on, and the bloke plays for Curacao. You know, there's no comments about that. So, you know, it's just, I think people just like to wind people up. You know, it's not of interest to me. Bacuna won't wear a blue shirt again. So I wouldn't be worrying too much about him. You know, it'd be an absolutely stupid thing to do if you were putting a pair of Villa shorts on and you're Alfie May, then, you know, fair enough. Like, you know, you could think, what the bloody hell are you doing? It's a piss take. But, you know, who cares?
Yeah. Do you think he's definitely going to go then, Stephen? How do you feel about Bacuna going? Because, I mean, he was a good player like, when he turned up, didn't he, last season?
Yeah, I think he's going. I think he wants to go, you know. And I think he's got 3 or 4 options. And the problem with it is at the moment is he's deciding where he wants to go.
Yeah.
You know, he's sorting himself out, and that's fair enough. He's not involved in anything. You know, he's not training with us. So, no issue.
What's the general vibe like in the group, Steve? Like with the Bluenoses, is there still loads of excitement? I mean, the season tickets are still going up, aren't they? Brilliant, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think the season ticket thing is great. Within the group, you know, it's the same as it is everywhere else. You know, I mean, people are loving it, and you know, I mean, we just keep piling on the members at the moment, and because we keep it sensible, still we don't allow people to slag each other off and all that stuff. You know, the crack. Yeah. So the group, it's a very positive group, and I think probably most groups are at the moment. You still get your idiots. Seen them on other groups, you know, like, but you either put up with them or you don't, you know.
Yeah. I was going to try and share the Facebook group if I could. Oh, there we go. I'm pretty sure that everybody on here follows it, but just in case you haven't, that's Steve's group, Bcfc, the project mate. He got 14k members as well. Superb.
Yeah, just under. Yeah, we put 700 members on since the 11th of July. So it's like, it's gone crazy recently. I don't know why, but it has. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a brilliant group, mate. Be very
Thank you,
Steve.
Yeah. Yeah, so I think very, very positive towards the Reading game. Albion will be interesting because Albion won't put a low block in. They'll come to play football. They'll come to beat us. So we could have a nice day against the Albion because with the quality of players we got, we could pass them to death.
Yeah.
You know, Albion come out looking for it, you know.
Have they made any decent signings, Steve? Because I know they've had some new owners as well, ain't they? American owners as well.
I don't know, mate, to be honest, because I've been so busy with what's been going on at the Blues. There's something going on every day, you know.
Yeah.
And I think as the time goes on now, I think we're going to see some more signings come in the next 10 days.
Yeah, you reckon?
Yeah. There's the lad from Troyes. There's still talk about Stansfield, and I honestly couldn't tell you anything other than, for me, there's been no denial from anyone. So until there's a denial from one of the parties, Fulham, Stansfield, or Blues, then obviously it's got to be a possibility, hasn't it?
Yeah.
You know,
I reckon we'll get in your heart, Steve. Do you think it is a possibility?
Well, in my heart, I want to, but in my head, I don't think we will. I just don't know how Stansfield feels about it. I don't know how much Fulham want for him. Yeah. If Stansfield was willing to come and Blues can play the money, then there's no reason why he wouldn't come. You know, absolutely no reason at all. And the fact that Fulham haven't denied anything is quite interesting. You know, we've had a we've been talking to. I know we spoke to Fulham about Luke Harris, who's one of their youngsters, about loaning him, and we've also, I believe, been in touch about Jamie Donnelly at Spurs.
Yeah.
So, you know, we're looking at young players to bring in now, which wouldn't be a bad idea. Jamie Donnelly's a really good centre forward, and he's on tour with Spurs at the moment, and they're going to be back any day now. So we might see some movement on that. There's talk. There's a lot of rumours. We don't put nothing in the group unless we think it's got some sort of substance to it. So a lot of them we haven't put in. So, you know, I think it's a case of sitting and seeing.
It's exciting times, mate. And how do you feel? Because there was, I mean, I watch a lot of other content creators as well, especially like teams in League One and stuff. And I've seen stuff all over social media, watching other videos and that, and some of them seem a bit bitter about the amount of money that Blues are spending and like the prospects of what we're going to offer in that league.
I'm not surprised by it, because Blues fans, in all honesty, have gone on there and wound them up. You know, I mean, fair enough. We don't usually have much to shout about, so I think it's okay to do that. They've got in there and said we're going to get 110 points. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. You know, and obviously, like, the other teams are thinking, "Fuck you," you know, and they're giving them stick. You know, it's fair enough. I quite like looking at it and reading it because it's quite funny.
Yeah.
But I think for us, you know, we need to get 90 points. 90 points gets you automatic promotion. We can't afford to lose more than 5 or 6 games. And if you think about it, for Blues to lose 5 or 6 games in the season, you know, we usually win 5 or 6 games in the season. You know, so you know, to look at it in that light, it sort of shows you how difficult it's going to be. You know.
Yeah. I did say, like, looking at it pre-season, realistically, in my opinion, would be like the Shrewsbury game, because obviously we're going to be playing them twice this season. Looking at that, like, and what you've seen so far, do you think Blues can get promoted first time?
I think we should. I think we should comfortably win the league. We should.
Yeah, you reckon?
I think the club have done their part. They've given Chris Davis a lot of money to spend.
Yeah.
And they've brought players in. We've done our part. We've got 19,000 season ticket holders. The merchandise has flown off the shelves. You know, everything the fans can do, they've done. It's just down now to Chris Davis and the players. With that squad, they should comfortably win that league. And I'm sorry, I know people are going to say, well, it ain't going to be that easy. No one said it will be easy. But with that squad, they should win that league. There's no doubt about that. I mean, look at the quality of the players we've got. I'd be quite comfortable in the Championship with this squad.
Yeah.
And the way they play football, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, well, look how they played against Rangers and stuff, and they're in the higher league, aren't they?
Yeah, but the reason we could play so well against Rangers is because Rangers didn't really show us much respect. And I don't mean that in a nasty way. Rangers came and thought they were going to beat us. They thought they could pass through us. They thought a lot of things that didn't happen. You know, Rangers tried the high press. They tried to flood the midfield. Where after an hour, when we brought all the subs on, then the game changed slightly. For 15 minutes, you know, when you bring 9 substitutes on in one go, things are going to change. And they struggled a bit then, but they still won 2-1. And Rangers had a little bit better of the game after that. But I think that first hour was a real sort of, I think we put a marker down really to show people how we can play. And if I was a League One manager, I'd be looking at that.
Yeah.
And I'd be looking at that and thinking, how do Birmingham play? You know, and how do you combat it?
Yeah.
Now, the question is, how do you combat it?
Yeah.
Because that sort of game is very, very difficult to defend against. Ask anyone who plays Man City or Spurs or Spain, you know, they're very, very hard to defend against that game. But it's very, very demanding on the players. It takes a certain intelligence from the players, and it takes very, very good fitness levels.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that was another thing for me as well, Steve. I can't believe how fit the players look as well. You can actually see it, can't you? Pretty much all of them.
You can. I thought they looked a bit leggy on Saturday, to be honest. There were a few stray passes. I think that's just a bit of tiredness. But also, fair play to Warsaw. You know, they put the hammer on Blues a little bit. They didn't just sit back and defend. They did have a little go in midfield, and they could have scored. I mean, two great saves from a double save from Bailey Peacock at 0-0. You know, stopped us being embarrassed a little bit. And I think they did a really good job. They knew what to expect from us, and they did a good job. But that's what I'm talking about, the volume. If you just keep plugging away, at some point something comes.
Yeah.
We could have had a couple more, you know, when Alfie May lobbed the keeper, or when Dembele hit the post, you know, all those things. We could have scored 3 or 4. Warsaw could have scored 1 or 2. But I think that's what we got to do, is as fans, we've got to learn to be patient. So if we're not a goal up after half an hour, and we've got a team playing a low block with, the middle of the park and packed with players to try and stop us playing, you've got to understand that ball's going to go left and right while they look for the killer pass.
Yeah.
Exactly what happened, of course, at Warsaw. I described it earlier. You know, that's the pass we wanted to get, and that's the one we found, and that won the game. And if we do that, you know, regularly, no one's going to be worrying about winning 1-0, providing we get 3 points. That's the thing.
Yeah. So I can't believe it's starting in 2 weeks, Steve. I'm just really excited, mate. Honestly, I can't wait.
Yeah, it's great, isn't it? And it's absolutely brilliant. We're a bit worried about getting tickets for the kids and that. You know, we got them. I mean, Beck, God bless her, took her 4 days to get all the family tickets for the Albion game, because she had to go in and get single references for everyone. Blah blah blah. You know, it took her absolutely ages. And I think if you're just a casual supporter, you might be struggling to get tickets this season to watch them at home. You know.
Yeah. I mean, I can't believe the support, like, because I talked with Nick from Chatting Blues, like, and he was saying that, like, he reckoned, like, this was before the pre-season started, like, and he thought that the season tickets and the sales would drop. But I mean, obviously, like, he got the kind of mindset as my dad, like, you know, and he was, like, really excited. That he says, "You watch," he says, "this season's going to be a really good season," like, and yeah, he's just gone the other way, hasn't it? I just can't believe the support and everything with the Blues
The
fans. It's
support
brilliant.
is there for Blues. What we've done is the Blues supporters have been badly let down by the club over the years.
Yeah.
And supporters have lost interest. I'm amazed that while the Chinese were there, we were still getting gates of like 18 and 19,000 at times. That ground was a disgrace. They didn't give a shit about anything. You know, and you can only take the piss out of your customer base for so long. In the end, people just think, you know what, I'll look out for the scores and I'll just stop at home. But your dad will tell you, mate, and I've been in that ground with 54,000 people in it. So
Yeah.
you can't tell me there's no fans there, because there is. If we had any major success, it would be like that again. We just need to make sure that now we go in one direction only, you know, and this is where the fans have got to be a little bit patient. You know, with the results, you've got to just expect we ain't going to beat everybody 6-0. It ain't going to happen. You know, if we come away from anywhere with 3 points, then we're going to be very, very happy with it, and that's it. That's all we want.
Yeah. Have you got a message? Have you got a message for the Blues fans that are watching, Steve?
Well, what I just said, really, you know, be patient with them, because I think if we're patient, we try and understand what Chris Davis is trying to do, support the club as much as you can, and it's going to happen. You know, we should win this league. We should definitely win this league. But you know, if we play at home to Reading and it's a 0-0 or something, it ain't the end of the world, right? These players have got to get it together. They've got to understand every team in that league, particularly now that we've wound them up so much, is going to want to destroy us, you know. And it could be good, because all of these players now, their big game is going to be against us.
Yeah.
You know, if we get our game right, we're going to play anybody in that league off the park. So as Blues fans, you know, just keep doing what you're doing, because of course we got the best fans, mate. We just have, you know, there's no ways about that.
I know, mate. Even the songs as well, mate.
Always been the same.
Steve, I love you, mate.
Thank you.
Well, yeah, we've hit the 40-minute mark, so we'll.
All right, mate.
Yeah, Steve, honestly, mate, I've loved talking to you, and thanks for making time for me again, Steve.
No problem, Jamie. It's nice to talk to you, and
you, mate.
yeah, just to everyone, remember if anyone's got any kits for kids on our website, bcfctheproject.co.uk. If you want to donate kits, then go on there. You can let us have them for underprivileged kids, and we're trying to do what we can for those. Our community stuff is really important to us, and anyone that can support us in that way, it will be absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, definitely. Because you've got your own website as well, haven't you, as well now, Steve?
We have, yeah.
Yeah.
bcfctheproject.co.uk, yeah.
And to join the Facebook group as well, BCFC the project as well. I'm pretty sure everybody on here is on the project, but just in case you haven't,
yeah, hopefully,
get yourselves on it.
Cheers, Jamie.
Steve, keep right on, mate. Up the blue.
And you, son. I'll see you later then.
I'll see you soon, Steve.
All the best, Jamie.
And you, mate. Give my love to Reg.
I will, yeah.
See you later, mate.